And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Orlea Origins. I am Will, the Halfling Wizard. It's been a hot minute since we've been here, but that's because, life, chaos, that kind of craziness. Um, so we have a special edition of an episode for you tonight. It's a little different than what we normally do tonight. First part of the tonight, we're going to do a little bit of like reminiscing, talking about you know, some fun memories we've had, some character moments, some of our favorite moments other characters have had, that sort of thing. We're just going to do a sort of rehash up to this point, and then we're going to do a soft intro into our new story arc, which is going to last for a little while, which is super excited, and I'm super excited for it. But I'm going to let it go around first. I'm going to let everybody kind of introduce themselves. You don't have to worry about who you play because we'll get into that later. Just tell us a little bit about you. You as the player. Tell us who you are and a little bit of something about you. So we're going to start with Nick down below me here. Right down here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nick. I started this 2 years ago with you guys. It's been a couple of years now. And I met Will through Kellen, actually, who plays Kieran, and it's been nonstop fun ever since.
I put in a good word for you.
You did? Yeah, she did.
I appreciate that.
Lisa was very, very, very adamant about bringing you on board. And I was like, oh, okay, sounds like a plan. Let's do it. And here you are. So, all right, speaking of, we'll go to Lisa now.
Hey, I'm Lisa. My journey with Orlea started, I looked it up today. The day that we made the map, the original Wild Bell map was March of 2019.
Oof, okay.
So I thought it'd been longer, to be honest.
Me too, actually.
Well, yeah. So
it's
I've
8
been
years.
I've been a part of it through all of it, and I love it. By day, I'm a hospice RN, and by night, I'm mother to all my fur babies, and I have the great privilege of getting to hang out with these wonderful people and my best friend in Will.
Cool. Awesome. Kel, are you back? I don't know if you're back yet or not. He may not be. Not yet. That's okay. But I'll talk about me a little bit. Yes, so let's talk a little bit about that. I'm glad you looked that up because I was trying to look it up today too. But Orlea, the world of Orlea has been going since 2019. So it's been going for 8 years, and it's constantly we've had a campaign in it since then. I don't think we've stopped. I don't think there's been a gap in between. If there has, it's been like a week or two. But we've gone from the original campaign, which we call Phase 1. From that, we went into Phase 2, which Lisa and Kel and also Christian, who'll be on in a little bit, we're all part of Phase 2. And then came Origins, and because we were originally, after Phase 2 happened, originally I was going to go even further into the future because we had played an episode in the Wild West, and it was super fun. So I thought we might go there, sort of fast forward to like the 1800 type time period. But then I was just like, no, you know what? Let's explore before anything happened. So let's go to the past. So that's where Origins came from. So Origins it's called Origins because literally this is sort of the origins of Orlea and all the phases that happened after this time period. So one of the great things about you guys in this version of Orlea or in this version of the campaign is that you're not related to anybody. All the other in Phase 2, everyone in Phase 2 was related to somebody in Phase 1. But this is the first time, other than Phase 1, where there was no relation to anybody. So you guys are setting precedent and setting up the future campaigns, Phase 1 and Phase 2. So That's why every once in a while I pull in elements from both of those phases into Origins, just so we can kind of connect them, so we can see that connection happening. And I can tell the audience out there, and it's not a spoiler necessarily, but I can tell our watchers that I already have the ending of this campaign planned. This particular one, I already know what I want to happen at the very, very end. And it's just, and one of the great things is you guys have been working towards it. I haven't had to push you anyway in any way, so that's awesome. So let me, and I don't know, Kel. Whenever you return, just let us know.
He's back. He
Is
said
he
he's
back?
back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll pause and I'll let him just. Kel, just tell us a little bit about you. You don't have to tell us your character or anything because we're going to get into that later. But
Yeah.
just tell us about you.
Hey, y'all, I'm Kel, also known as the Celtic Wyvern King. I've been playing TTRPGs for 10 plus years now, because that's how long it's been since I've been out of college at this point, almost. At least since I dropped out of college. Anyway, yeah, and I've been part of Orlea for, oh God, when did I start with y'all? I know it's phase 2. I just can't remember how many years at this point.
Ooh, Lord, we just found out that it's been 8 years since the original campaign.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, it hasn't been that long for me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Kel came in at about the last third.
Yeah, it was like the
phase
last
2,
third, maybe quarter.
maybe quarter. Yeah, of phase 2.
So about 2.5 years, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
We tortured him and killed him, and then he still came back.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, he did. So I'll tell a little. Let me talk before I get to you guys. I'm gonna just talk about me for a little while. Just kidding. I'm gonna talk about my style of sort of DMing style. I am very much. I like my players to guide the story. Most of the time when we're playing, I have my outline, but I let you guys take the lead. And I think of it like roads laying in front of us, and the road sort of ends, and which I wait for you guys to pick a road, and then I start building the road as you move forward. So, because I'm really big into world building, and I think one of the best ways that you can build worlds is by letting your players actively participate in it. And that's how a lot of Origins has been built, because of a lot of what you guys have done. So good, bad, and ugly.
I remember the very beginning. Will made this amazing map, and it was huge, and he had it laminated, and it was on my kitchen table. Back when we were in person, and he put it on the table, and he said, "Pick an area." And we picked a land area, and then we had to, who lived there, what was the topography like, what was the culture like. We had to name cities. We built mountains, rivers, and at the time I was like, oh dear God, this is horrible, just trying to do it all. But once we got started, it felt like it was yours. We owned it. It was. I really came to appreciate that as we went on, and now to still see that area, in the future and in the past now.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and because I want my players, or you guys, my players, to have, possession. I want you to feel like you belong here. Like it's not my world, it's our world. So that's why when I'm just like, all right, well, let's what does it look like? Or, what is Varric's home? What is it like? What was it? Or what is where Willow grew up, and which is now known as the Vale of Shadows in like the modern era. What was it like before it was that? And I love you guys creating as much of this world as I have. I've got, all my deities are there. I've got my pantheons. I've got all that, all the logistical stuff. But when it comes down to like areas that you're from, so like, and I'm going to just pick on Varric, like the mountain areas that Varric comes from, it's like, okay, well, tell us about them, describe them. You know, what kind of creatures live there? What kind of, how many tribes live in your mountains? And you know, what is their socioeconomics? You know, what do they do? You know, do they have a hierarchy? Is there a caste system? You know, I really let you build all of that. So, would you like to say something about Varric and
That
his place in this world?
honestly, I designed Varric around. If anyone asked me like, "What's your favorite class?" It's going to come down to either sorcerer or barbarian, which is funny because I play barbarian in this one, and then in Reign of Vecna I play a sorcerer. Uh, but I was just trying to think like, what would fit in this world? This is like you gave me a really comprehensive backstory on it, and like, how would that work? And it came down to like, okay, well, I usually go for more of the magic casters. I want to try something different. I want to just go for a straight melee martial guy. And Varric came about with like, okay, let's look at what D&D says about Goliath. Oh, they live in tribes on mountainsides. And then you basically kind of gave me like kindling. And I was able to just kind of take it, just like, and created this entire ecosystem of different tribes and trade and stuff on the side of this mountain. It was refreshing, to be perfectly honest. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, and you created something super fun. It was really neat. You know, the in Origins, in the original where we started in sort of like primordial Orlea. It was sort of like very stone you know, sort of stone Bronze Age ish, and there was no metal, like there was no true metals yet. Like there were no metal swords, no metal daggers, no, you know, people weren't forging metals yet. We were, and you got, I don't think you got, well, no, you guys, some of you have some metal stuff now, um, but in the time period, there was magic was natural more so. There were no wizards, there were no warlocks yet. Um, I think sorcerers were there. I can't remember if sorcerers were there, but I know like paladins and clerics were, but and druids were, um, and barbarians, and you know, sort of the martial classes. But there wasn't a lot of magic in the world yet. But also there was no forging yet. We weren't forging metals. We weren't creating anything. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll let him answer it when he comes in, but I think Mint was the very first character to get a metal object. Is that correct? Isn't that right? Wasn't he
The
I
got
lizard
think
shaker.
so.
the lizard shanker?
Yeah.
Yep, it was Liz
Okay.
Shanker.
Okay. So he was the very first. Of course, the Chaos Goblin has a rather powerful metal dagger, basically. Um, and then like Kieran and Varric, you guys got guns. Didn't you guys get the guns in the Old West?
Yep,
Yeah,
because
the
Barrett got
pistols.
Saint, I got center.
That's right, Saint and Center. And then we went when y'all went into the New York reality. I believe someone brought a gun back from that, right?
Mint.
Mint brought a Glock. Of course he did. Of course he did. So you guys do have these sort of metal objects now.
Yeah. And I got my sword.
Yeah, and you've got your sword. Um, but yeah, so now they were pushed forward in time to about, I want to say it was about 400, 500, 600 years before Phase One takes place. So we're sort of in the medieval sort of period of Orlea, where they were sent here by a deity to stop a demigod. His name is Kansu, and they've just sort of been floundering around trying to figure out where the hell this guy is. It's like, where the hell did we find him? We ended up going to Arcadia City, which becomes Arcadia in Phase One and Phase Two. We already kind of saw the beginnings of Phase One's version of it with sort of the big festival. You guys were there for the Galadrin Festival, which is the Festival of the Dragons, which we were introduced to in Phase One. Um, you met some familiar characters from Phase Two. Um,
Like Kellen's character, I think, right? Was one of
yeah,
them.
you guys met Roman. You guys met Aristotle. For those of you who remember Aristotle from Phase Two, because he was the mayor of the town. You guys have met Regina. She goes by Corellia at this point, at this particular point in history. But you guys met her. She's big in Phase Two. If you don't know, for those of you who don't know, she's huge in Phase Two. She's very Mae Westish. She owns her own bar, the Slaughtered Lamb. Sort of no nonsense. Very cool. You guys met a descendant of Fitzwig. For those of you who don't know, Fitzwig is he's a goblin from, was he a goblin? He was a goblin, right? Yeah, he was a goblin from Phase Two. Sort of a grouchy character. He was great. We all love Fitzwig. Yeah, so we've met. I try my best to connect all of the campaigns in some way so they feel like they're all part of the same world. And one of the great things about you guys is what you guys do here affects the world in a way that would have laid just right in Phase One. So we're literally leading up to Phase One. Which is super cool. So, all right, I'm going to stop talking now because I could talk about Orlea till the cows come home. So I want you guys to let's talk about favorite memories. Like your favorite, it could be a favorite memory, a favorite character moment, a favorite arc. It could be whatever, or it could be all of those things. It's up to you. I'm going to let you. I have one of my favorite. Let's see. Here I go. I'm going to start talking again. Wait. This is the perfect time to pause as we bring in Christian. So let me bring him in. Hey, welcome, sir. So
Hey,
real
buddy.
quick, what we're doing is we're just chilling and talking. Tell us a little bit about you. You don't have to tell us about your character because we'll talk about characters later. Just tell us about Christian.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Christian, and I play a dad and a teacher in real life. Yeah, so let's see, about me. I am,
He's an amazing artist.
thank you, appreciate that. I am an artist who struggles to build like a platform to show my work. I have the making of art. That part I got figured out. The marketing myself part is just kind of like by the time I get to that, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
constantly like, hey, where can I see your stuff?
yeah,
He's like, yeah, I'm getting to that.
yeah, I'm working on it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a dad, husband, teacher,
Fair.
artist.
Cool. So Christian here has been with us since Phase Two, and when I was putting Origins together, I had a handful of people that I really wanted to work with, and all of you were part of it. Nick, you came in because I'd heard so much about you, and I was like, hell yeah, let's bring him in. And then I thought everybody else that I want to bring in knows Orlea. Nick knows nothing about it. God bless him. So we're all like, "Oh, this is. Did you see this or did you see that?" You're like, Nick's like, "I have no idea. I have no idea what that is, but I'm here for the ride." Um, but Christian played a super broke character that we just built. We just kept building on and building on and
Yeah.
building on. You know, and before we talk about it, because I want you to talk about Corvus here in a minute, but this is one of my favorite things is letting a player build a character that will break the world. and I will find a way to pull it back in. 'Cause-
Oh yeah.
and the reason being is I personally, going back to phase 2, Corvus's storyline was one of my absolute favorites.
Oh, he was so much fun.
I mean, one of my absolute favorites with the whole grandfather thing, and it was some beautiful storytelling, and it was mostly on your part, not mine, but
I disagree.
and it was just one of my absolute favorite story arcs. It was just it was very moving. I was very moved by it, very very moved. So, but anyway, we're talking about our favorite moments, memories, character bits, whatever in Origins. But if you want to tell a story from Phase 2, you're welcome to, because there were a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, no, I am. I completely resonate with what you said because I feel like it became so much more than what I expected it to be. I know that we had been prompted to create like a tragic backstory kind of deal, or a dramatic, or not tragic, but like a dramatic backstory. So I said, okay, I'll revisit that, and I don't think I've ever explored a character that in depth, especially like into their past. Usually, it's one of those things where like you'll create the backstory and you rarely ever really get to visit anything significant, And so it was so cool to see how it would just keep evolving and evolving. And yeah, man, like every time I thought to myself, man, this mystic class is really broken, you would go and add something else to it.
Yep.
Be like, oh, but now you're also a wolf. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like,
Yep.
yeah. So it was really cool. And I also really like how you were able to take that Bradshaw character and really turn them into a real pain in the ass. Yeah. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and that was so random too. And this is and this is for the other folks that especially Nick, mostly Nick, because you weren't here for Phase 2, but I think you kind of know already. But I will use a backstory. If you give me a backstory, I'm going to use it. It's like I'm going to build from it. I'm going to add from it. That's why I always say give me 3 people, 3 NPCs. 2 personal, 1 professional, someone that either you got along with, didn't get along with. If you give me somebody that you did not get along with, I'm going to use the hell out of them. That was Bradshaw.
Yeah.
And Braxton as well.
Yeah.
For Lisa's character.
Yep.
And
yeah, he was just a mean prison guard, and he became this demigod nemesis that haunted me.
Yep. That's why Bradshaw too. I mean, I think Bradshaw, you met him on the road.
Yeah, he was like a wealthy, pompous, aristocratic, nepo baby, and he was just annoying because of his shitty attitude towards people, and then he became like an actual threat, which,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, he was great.
Didn't we imprisoned him in a little glass thing, didn't we?
Yeah, Crystal.
Yeah. At one point, that's
whatever happened to him. Is he still in a crystal somewhere?
No. I think he was.
Yeah,
I think he was. I think towards the end, I thought he got out, and I thought I ended up finally killing him because I think we had a big fight with him, Braxton. There's like big fights that we had.
There was a huge fight. Yeah.
Where they ended up getting killed.
Yeah.
Not at the same fight, I believe, but
no.
it was
Bradshaw. Yeah, Bradshaw. You guys released him because Corvus wanted to kill him, so he got released, and then there was the big fight, and then you ended up killing him. Yeah, and I think Braxton was killed. He was killed at the big battle.
Yeah. That was, and there was a lot of like ups and downs with that character as far as like dealing with everything that was going on, and I allowed myself to really dive deep into, where does someone go when they're feeling like they're losing everything and that kind of thing. So I know there was a moment where Will was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm great."
I'm like, "We're okay, right?" Yeah, it was so good. I mean, it was so good. There was these beautiful moments, Nick. I mean, God, I really wish I had phase two on video.
I really think the
Oh,
dynamic with his grandfather was probably the thing that really
oh
got
yeah.
me so invested. Like, I mean, on a personal note, I had a really close relationship with my grandfather, and he
Me
was a
too.
very yeah, that's cool, man. And so it's like quite crazy how like these things like translate, right?
Yeah,
And he was a very prominent figure in our family. Like he was kind of
yeah.
a so having those moments, it was like I could really borrow a lot from how I that relationship, and so that was really helpful, and it really made me really just appreciate the characters a lot more.
Yeah. You know, and his grandfather's name was Coylin Onwell, who was one of three brothers, and there was a sister as well, Sophie. Um, he turned to the dark side, you might say, and sided with Naira, the big bad. And eventually he crossed back over. And but he was exiled. He mostly exiled himself. He married into the Averile and et cetera, et cetera. And um, and one of my favorite things that I like to do, and this was one of my this was, and I'm gonna this is just gonna speak to Christian as a player, but everything he built in Corvus allowed me to build in Coilan. Like you allowed me to flesh him out because originally he was just very there wasn't much to him, and then we started getting into the grandfather Corvus relationship, and I was like, you know, I built it out and built it out and built it out and fleshed it, and I fleshed him out, and that's when you went to it, the tree. Remember the tree house
Oh
or what it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
and
yeah,
where you got his staff, and he left you all his stuff.
yeah,
I think that was the beginning of the brokenness.
yeah, yeah.
But it was
Here's
like,
here's all of these little trinkets, and like, oh, look at these trinkets. No, but they're also war crimes.
they really are. Oh yeah, for sure. So, which leads me to favorite moments. Or leads me back to favorite moments from Origins. So, what's a favorite moment? And anybody can go. So it doesn't have to be. It's not necessarily Christian. It could be anybody. But what's one of your favorite moments so far? Or we could even break it up like like primordial versus where you are currently. Or you can just overall. It's up to you. We were talking about how Mint has the only. He was the very first one to have a metal weapon.
Oh my god!
The
And
lizard trick.
and a small squad of lizard men.
That's right. And a small army of lizard men.
I'm
Yeah.
dying to know what's become of them. Like I am
Don't worry.
I am
They're
dying.
still there.
Yeah, I'm dying to know what's become of them.
And
But
and that's the great thing about Will is that he always comes back around. You know, something that seemed insignificant all of a sudden is like, oh my god.
it's like, yeah. Like I like to tie in things. It's just because it just makes sense to me. It's like, oh, he has this little lizard army. What did become of them? Oh, don't worry, you will find out what became of them very soon, actually.
Oh, nice.
Um, uh, but yeah, I like to come back to things. I just because I'm very much about tying things up as much as I can. Sometimes I forget things, but there are little things that I'm like, oh yeah, the lizard army. And sometimes you'll say something during a session, and it'll remind me of something. I'm like, ooh, there was that thing. Let me bring that back. And suddenly you're like, holy shit. It's like there you guys are, or whatever. But one of the things I wanted to tie in real quick to what Christian was talking about with Corvus is I want to go back over to Varric. One of my absolute favorite moments so far in Origins was your death. Was Varric's
Ah,
death. Like
Yeah.
not the
yeah,
stupidity of jumping off the thing, but like the aftermath of that. Like
yeah.
the whole journey meeting your father and your tribe and all of that, and I know there was moments where like Willow wanted to try to save you, and your father was like, "No, that's not the
I was
not our
actually
way."
wondering what was going to come of that, because there was times where I thought Willow was literally going to be like, "I'm rolling initiative." Like, no, this is not happening. And I'm sitting here like, "Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is getting very interesting."
She
But
was ready.
I was. My original plan for that whole jump, because okay, I'm calculating the fall damage and everything, and I'm like, okay, I could tank that. And then my original plan was to just be the distraction so Willow could get away, and then somehow flag down Mint to have Brenna come pick me up. And as we know, that didn't happen. But I remember it like it was yesterday, where you're like, oh, you're dead. Like you're dead. Like you did like your total
Like,
amount. It did a
yeah.
total amount of damage to you
You're dead.
all at
Yeah.
once. So like mechanically that kills you. And I'm just sitting here like, holy shit. But no, him being able to go and see like the tapestry of life, and like get a second chance and come back as a human and spend some time as a monk, and it was such a really cool left turn for his character. I honestly like it. Really, I feel like that really kind of fed into like sort of his like 2.0, like Varric 2.0 of what we're currently going through, where it's like instead of Varric Wolf Spirit, it's Varric Kinbound, because this is like, yeah, this is his family now. They're hundreds of years into the future, and there's no one else here that he's as close to other than these people. And it's like, okay, I'm bound to these people. These are my friend, my family. So I think it's a really cool turn that we kind of both inadvertently and advertently took.
Yeah, it's I love moments like that. Again, this moment, that moment with Varric going to the afterlife and seeing the tapestry and understanding his role in it, and and your father very much about, no, you will not interfere. This is just who we are. This is our traditions, and seeing the conflict between like Willow and the conscience of, I can save him, and they're just very much like, no, that's because that's not our way. And it reminds me of that Corvus moment, because we got really deep into that, and it became something very, very empathic for me. It was very, very empathic for me, because I love moments like that. And and you took it on and you went with it, and it was great. But it was one of my favorite moments so far.
I've been really, really impressed with the moments that I've seen you do, Nick, with Varric in the tribe. And I remember there was like this juxtaposition between you having like this really intense conversation when I think we first got there. We're like running away from fire that's coming up a mountain, right? And
Yep.
you're having this like, this like super deep and like super raw conversation, and then in the fucking middle of that, Mint is doing fucking Pictionary in the dirt, like it's like this. I'm seeing Will jump between the two things, and it's just like, I'm so impressed, Will, when you do that. By the way, it's just able
Same.
to like take the energy of one scene, and it's like super drama and super intense, and then you just jump over to like what jackassery is Christian doing right now with this
So,
fucking
yeah,
goblin. and it's like seamless, like it's like a great, like it doesn't feel like a jarring switch, and it's like,
Right.
and you're just flipping a switch back and forth, and it's like, man, that's really cool. It's like code switching almost,
Yeah. And it's funny because you guys don't make it easy.
I remember
There's the
when we were in Arcadia the first time, in phase 2, I think, and they gave us a house, this beautiful house, and we just believed beyond all comprehension that it was a trap.
That was phase 1.
Was it phase 1?
That was phase 1.
It was a trap. So we kept looking until we found some passages underground, And will literally, later we find out, made the whole thing up on the spot because we wouldn't stay in the house and he had all this stuff planned for us. And
It
we
was
were just
literally just a
nope.
house. It was literally just a house. The city had given their heroes. They considered them heroes, and they're like, "We want to give you this house with servants and everything." And the
Good
whole
things
time they
don't
were
happen
there,
like
they
that.
were literally like, "Something's about to happen. This is not right. Something's not right." Here."
That's
They're like,
hilarious.
I'm gonna explore, and they were like, "We're gonna search," and then they found the hidden passageway into these underground chambers, that's where she found the sword.
Hmm.
She found her moonblade, and that was also the first time y'all encountered the truths of the stairs of truth.
But you just made it up on the spot.
Yeah.
And that just, we would never have known it. It was like,
I
man,
had
I
a
wonder
whole-
how long it would have taken us to find this if we've just hung out
Yeah.
there. And he's like, you were supposed to hang out there.
You were supposed to. It was like you were supposed to rest and catch your breath, and I had a whole thing planned in the city, and then y'all just went, and I was like, well, shit. Okay. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So I'm like creating secret passageways and underground tunnels, and oh my god,
you
it
know,
was so crazy.
A lot of DMs would have like blocked our way, because nope, we're not doing that. And you
Oh,
don't.
no.
That's what I love about your style. Is we want to go downstairs? Okay, let's create downstairs.
Yeah, that was what was the most fun about playing a character that was based in psionics. And I remember I've the very first. So here's the cool thing: the very first thing that drew me to Dungeons and Dragons, even though I got to play a lot of different versions of Dungeons and Dragons. The first thing was a 3.5 handbook for expanded psionics. And I found it in a Walden Books, if anybody knows what that is. Not there anymore. And so I found it there, and I just liked the art. And so I started flipping through the pages, and up until then I was buying a lot of like mangas and how to draw books. So I found this thing, and so then I played nothing but a Scion at my start so my introduction to D&D was like playing this stupid, X-Men, character in Dungeons and Dragons. But nobody could ever handle the nature of that in that game because it was such it's like you have all of these classes that are built on a lot of rules, and Scions just break them all. And so I always thought it was really cool. Like I would throw all these curveballs at Will, and he would just run with it, man. And sometimes I got to be honest, I was just trying to see, like, okay, I'm just gonna pitch just a crazy fastball. You know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna see what he does. And I was always impressed, man.
I'll take it. You
and
throw
you made
me a
it
ball,
fun.
I'm gonna take it.
And you made it fun to play the psionic class. Like honestly, it was like super fun. Like it was, we
homebrewed a lot of that for you, didn't we?
Yeah, so we based it off of unearthed arcana, the unofficial stuff, and then we kind of modified it a little bit and just kind of kind of like we're doing with the with our
current.
yeah. Which, by the way, I really actually like. So I have suggestions for the class, but I really actually like that Brenna is a fairy dragon right now. As compared to a fucking adult, red dragon. I like that a lot more.
I think I'm going to keep her there.
Yeah, and I think that it makes the transformation into a full-fledged dragon much more powerful because it's like they fuse, and then they become like, boom, now you've got like this big dragon walking around, which I think would be a lot more balanced for that class.
Yeah. And plus, I just love her as a fairy dragon. This is great. So, yeah. I tend to homebrew a lot of stuff for Christian.
That's just speaking on the line of like being able to think on the fly and like really, I like the way you think kind of outside the box when it comes to stuff. Because I know you had given me the aspect of the Divine Fang after I came back from being, freaking dead, and It's like, so yeah, I am human, but also I have the ability to turn into this giant like fuck off wolf who has magic abilities and can like scream and scare people or like pounce on people and do like radiant attacks. I'm like, this is way cooler than I ever like imagined playing Varric would be. Like, I just figured like, okay, I go into a rage, I do extra damage, I do that. It's like, no, I'm a freaking wolf guy. I'm literally turning into a wolf, and like, I can't even describe it. Like being able to pull that open there and have that at the ready while I'm like we're going through. Like I have these options. I think that's just so cool.
Well, and what's really cool about that too, I mean, is that the wolf component plays such a huge role in the future of Orlea. Like it's like a huge, like it's like it's massive, and this is one of the things that made me love Orlea so much because I'm like a, I'm like a like, I've been a I have characters that I've worked on like on little side projects, and they're usually invested in a few themes that are always constant. One of them is ravens. I love ravens, but the other one is wolves, and part of it has to do with the fact that they work well together, which is why I named Corvus Corvus, because he, ravens work well with wolves, and I kind of like this idea of like him being connected to wolves, and then all of a sudden the wolf component was there. I didn't even know that was a thing when I joined, and so then it was huge because I'm like really big into Fenrir, and I'm big into like a lot of that lore, like and so your character having this wolf right now is so big because like Lisa's character has like this deep ties to a wolf spirit. Corvus, had a deep tie to a wolf spirit. There's so many like huge things with the Lithari, which is so cool to see starting.
And that was a homebrew. We built that.
Yeah, we built the
I said,
Lithari.
because I was trying to think of something different to play, and I said, well, I keep seeing this, but nothing is fleshed out. This idea, and that's all it took was an idea. And the Lithari were born, and then the whole country and a whole ethos, and
The
oh my
pantheon
goodness,
of gods. I mean, and it became like in phase 2, it grew into like this huge society, like a major part of the world. I mean, it wasn't just, and they have a history. I mean, the Lithari were there, like the deities were there after the Dragon Wars happened, helping, people recover, and people started to turn against them, and they were just sort of like, you know what, we're out, and they left, and they went back to Lith, and they basically shrouded their country in mist.
Yeah, they did the elf thing.
Yeah, and just disappeared for hundreds of years. And then in phase 1, Jade Luna was our first Lithari character, and then I was like, oh, then Lisa wanted to play her descendant in phase 2. So yeah, the wolf is a huge part, like Father Wolf, Mother Wolf. You'll find a lot of those. You've already met Great Father, and so that was that. By the way, when you met Great Father, that's a huge deal. And this is more for the people out in the world, but that's a huge deal because the Lithari technically don't exist in the world yet. They're shrouded off. They're off, and they're like, screw you guys. So this is the first time Great Father has come to someone beyond the barrier. So it's a huge deal, and and I may not have stressed as much to you, Nick, how big of a deal it is, because it is truly it's the first moments that we start seeing the Lithari reintroduce themselves to the world.
Dang.
After being away for hundreds of years. I mean, they've been locked away for hundreds of years. So,
well, I know of all the pairings that we got to, when it comes to like Varric, and honestly, when I was choosing the wolf and his story about accidentally killing the the wolf spirit. I had no idea that it was that big a deal
Oh,
in
of
the
course.
in the mythos. So
Right.
it's really cool that kind of like
Happen
confluence. Yeah,
naturally. Yeah. Wolves are big here. Wolves are really big in Orlea. They are. They're very central to a lot of the stories and characters here. So yeah.
that's really cool.
When you brought that in, I was like, oh, perfect. This is perfect. so I introduced you to Great Father.
Yeah.
And because let me tell you, was it your phase 2 character, Lisa, that just wanted to meet Great Father so much?
Uh-huh.
And like I think you eventually did,
Yes.
but it was like he
Yeah.
would always like meet other people before he
I
met,
know.
you know?
I'm like, wait a minute, he's my god. You know?
No, I remember that was a constant theme of like
Yep.
Lisa's character
It's
just
like,
being
hey, I
like,
met this big wolf. And
Yeah.
it's like, what?
yeah. And he didn't even say hi to me.
But speaking of wolves, my favorite Orlea memory in general was, in phase 1, Jade Luna, who, she was a Lythari, but she didn't know because she didn't go through the traditional path to become a Lythari. It was sort of ordained that it was supposed to happen, but she didn't know that. So she knew nothing about it. And randomly in this town meets a blacksmith
Rhymer.
named
Yeah.
Reimer, who is a Lythari,
Yeah.
and they strike up this long conversation because she wants to know everything about, what is happening to me and what is going on. And then it became like this epic romance, which I was like, okay, I guess we're going here. And it was so fun having an NPC that became almost a PC. I mean, it was like,
Oh yeah.
that was such a great storyline that I always appreciated that.
I also one of my favorite moments in that whole thing was right before the big battle. Remember when
Oh yeah, I remember what you did to me.
do you want to tell the
Two
story?
big-
'Cause it's quite funny.
Two big surprises.
Yeah. It was
First,
quite funny.
everyone is calling him Your Majesty, and I'm like, what? Wait, what? What? He's not just a Lythari. He's like the king of the Lythari. And then he looks at Jane Luna and says, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm ready for the fight. And he looks down at her stomach and says, no, how are you feeling? And I'm like, Will, you did not.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Oh, my goodness.
Yep. So that was a fun moment too. Cal,
It
you
was
can
epic.
jump in here anytime, my man. There was some fun Roman stuff. Roman was
Oh,
a
yeah.
character
Roman was
that I
hilarious.
brought in. I asked Kel to come in. I want to say it was about the last third of the campaign.
About.
And I was like, hey, why don't you come in and play Roman, who is, again, related to the Onwell family.
Mhm.
And I had so much fun with Roman. He poor Cal
Dude,
went through the
Dude,
went through the
yeah,
works,
no, he
man.
went through it, man.
Yeah, no, I was the punching bag for the fucking party when I joined.
Jesus.
God bless you.
And Roman was a punching bag both physically and emotionally because damn, y'all went after him. Well, not everyone, but definitely, oh my god, what was.
Oh, my God. I kill you once and you never let me forget it.
No, I won't.
I think he was, wasn't he Corvus's uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it was Corvus's uncle, and
anytime anything would happen, they'd be like, "Aren't you his uncle?" And then they'd look at each other and be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he was Dunsari's father. That's what I was trying to
yeah."
remember.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then the whole like left for milk and never came back joke never ended.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Golly, that was just so
He did. Poor Roman. He got put through the works, man. I'm not gonna lie, he did. He got put through the works. But it was great. And then we met his wife and his daughter, who were also assassins. His daughter was a really good assassin.
Yeah, like really good assassans too, right?
She was really good. That's where we met Aristotle for the first time,
Oh yeah.
or at least, well, one of the times anyway. because we're going to meet him a lot more probably. But yeah, was the bane of Roman's existence. Was that guy?
Yeah, no. Roman would say Aristotle the same way Sheldon and Big Bang would go Wheaton.
Yep. Oh yeah. Aristotle was such a pain in the ass. God, he was such a pain in the ass.
Is that
So-
why when you heard the name for the first time when we were in, I think we were in Arcadia City, you were like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard that name, I was thinking, oh great, what kind of bullshit are we about to get thrown through? And I mean bullshit in a good way, obviously.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
about to try to stop some future from happening.
Yeah.
Oh, but my character really wants to kill this guy.
It's like, hey, there's this guy I'm looking at hiring. What do you think? So yeah, so what is Kel? What about you? What's one of your favorite moments? I mean, I know one of my favorite moments for you, but what's one of your favorites?
From Phase 2 or
Or anyway, it could be Phase 2, Origins, both.
okay. Phase 2, I would say would honestly be the moment like after he got killed by Catelyn
Kirwan.
or Kieran, thank you, sorry. Wrong game. When he got killed by Kieran, he made him go through the whole like flashback with the sun.
Oh yeah.
Probably just like going through the actual trauma and like just being able to play that was fun.
I love those moments.
For Origins, so far my favorite moment, honestly, it's gotta be, and it's specifically for Kieran, when I turned to a fucking A10 Warthog essentially and just blasted everyone in the encounter.
That's my favorite moment so far.
Yeah, it's like, cool, I'm going to cast Draconic Transformation.
Because I was just
Okay,
like,
I'm going to use the bonus action for a
shit.
breath attack, then throw a fireball, and you see Bear come out from the rock going like, oh, wait, okay.
I literally was like, God damn it, Callum.
Varric was often in like a crevasse, hugging his knees like Matt Damon and Saving Private Ryan. Just
That is so funny. Yeah, oh my gosh. I have to say one of my favorite moments in Phase 2 for Roman was his relationship with Brother.
Oh, yeah, brother, not son. That's right,
but-
brother. That's right.
Yeah, Brother is one of 3 entities that no one could figure him out. He's like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
Oh,
But
yeah.
he seemed to be attached to Roman. So that was one of my favorite kind of storylines. Was that whole thing? So
Well, also, too, like, the rest of the party didn't even know about Brother, like, whatsoever, too.
because only you could see him
And talk to him, and hear
and
him.
talk to him. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's so. Let's just talk about chaos for a moment, shall we? Because one of the greatest things about having Christian in the party is chaos,
Thank you.
and also Kel as well,
Yeah.
because Kel and Christian are my chaos creators. They're totally about chaos, and I love but they're chaos in their own ways, which I love. That's why I really wanted these guys, all of you, in this campaign, and because I was like, it will always be chaotic, crazy, off the wall. I mean, off the wall. So, and then when Lisa's like, oh, you really need to talk to Nick and get him to come in. You should get him to come play. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go check him out. And I was checking him out. I was watching you play with Kel, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe he'll be open to it. So then I approached him, and he said, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And I love all of you guys because, and this is sort of a roundabout compliment to all of you, is that you guys just go with it. If I give you something, you're like, all right, let's do it. It's like, I'm like, this is what I love. This is the kind of player that I love. I love a player that will just take it and run. Make it your own, do your thing with it. Because I love the chaos as much as I have to like think on the fly. I love every damn minute of it. I wouldn't want it any other way. This is why, and I always tell people, this is why I hate running modules. Because modules are so specific, and you have to do this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, I feel so restricted by it. That's why I only do homebrew campaigns. Is because I want it to be organic, and I want it to feel like that we are in charge of it, and we can go any which way we want to. We can go left, right, up, down, forwards, backwards. It doesn't matter, and it'll take us where we need to be. And all of you guys are so good at that. You're so good at just, I'll throw something at you, and you don't blink. You just go, okay, let's do it. I throw you some kind of gigantic ass monster, and you're like, all right, let's kill it. I was like, I love that. See, I love that. See, the one thing about Phase 2, Nick, is the monsters in Phase 2 were so ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
And it was mostly because the party was so overpowered. So,
Oh, you mean like your take on the Goa'uld?
yes. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. That was probably one of my favorite monsters. Was that thing that spit the little gooey things at you, and it took you over like a Goa'uld does in Stargate.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah, 'cause-
fire snake
Yeah, the
dragon
fire snake,
thing,
yeah.
and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when Corvus and I take the high dive, going like,
Yep.
you know what? If this is how it's going to go, I'm just going to go on my own terms, and just did like a whole
The whole swan dive.
360 triple dive somersault right into the lava.
Yeah. That must have hurt.
Yeah.
See, I always felt like, because I'm not the chaos gremlin, I always
No.
felt like my characters kind of end up being the voice of reason. Like, hey, let's chill, let's think about this.
No, I loved when your character Lisa would try to be the voice of reason and then would get fed up with being the voice of reason and just be like, okay, fine, you want to fucking do it this way, and then everyone's like, whoa. It was so cool.
Speaking of
Sometimes I feel
chaos
like
and-
I drag the party backwards a little bit, but I feel like
No.
there has to be one voice saying,
No,
should we though?
no, absolutely not. It's great. It's like some of the best role play conflict moments we've had were because we were debating a decision. That was one of the things that makes me keeps me coming back because like I've told my friends like I'll be like, man, like the role play is just so fucking good. like everyone just gets into their character and they don't second guess it and they just like go with the scene, and it's like I have never had that experience before except with like my close group, and man, it's so cool when that happens because you just have fun. And so anyways, Lisa, I think like you're a driver of a lot of that. Like you really drive a lot of those moments. So yeah, no, it's really cool.
being someone that plays 2 games with you, Lisa, I can attest to that, where you have those moments where it's like you are sort of like deemed like the party mom, but at the same time you have those moments where you just sort of like crack your knuckles, crack your neck, and it's like, all right, let's throw down.
Yeah.
But speaking of chaos and monsters, one of my all-time favorite moments, and a little like it was right after we did the gladiator thing, trying to rescue Mint and Bellinor, and where Lisa first met her arch nemesis, or Willow first met her arch nemesis of the cat dragon.
The cat dragon.
Where I think we're fighting the trolls, and I remember like we had mentioned it in the very first episode doing the fastball special. And I was like, oh, I went over to Discord, I messaged Christian, and I was like, hey, how do you feel about the fastball special? I look over your camera, you just
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That's
just
like, and
shoot
also
knights.
that's mimicking Mint, like tucking in and just like going like that.
Do it.
And he's got like a sharp thing sticking out of his hand, like ready to go.
Yeah. That's so funny. I forgot about
It's so hard
that.
for me to pick a favorite moment, but that's definitely up there.
Yeah. Yeah. That, yeah.
God, like I remember that moment when we were trying to debate whether or not we should use a book, and oh my God, holy
Are you talking about phase two?
yes,
Oh,
opening a book.
that damn book.
I was
Um,
ready to die to keep us from
oh
opening that
my
book.
God, that book.
That was
It's
funny.
evil. Don't open it.
Who could have? But see, but that's case in point. Like, who could have predicted that a book is going to cause like? I think we went that book opening went on for like it was so good.
Yeah,
We were
it went
just
on
back
for
and
a
forth
couple
and
of
back and
sessions.
forth, and we were like it was really good like role play from everybody.
Yeah.
Like they're just really good. Like I don't know, it was really cool to see everybody in character and then arguing their point as that character. It was so
Oh
neat.
Yeah.
yeah.
That is the good thing, the fun thing about this group. Another fun thing is that everybody plays their character. They keep that in mind. This is what would the character do? You know, even when the in those chaotic moments, it's so what that character would do. Of course, Mint would do that. He's Mint. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's funny. What was the speaking of that book, those sessions with the book, what was the name of the candy shop?
Ah,
Magically
Magically
delicious.
Delicious. That's
Yeah,
what it
magically
was.
delicious. Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember
Oh
you guys being
God,
on top of it, trying to
Yeah, that's when
fly
I
or
was
whatever it was.
with
that's
the
when I was
acorn.
Leonin. That's when I
Yeah,
was
smoking from the
Leonin,
acorn. Yeah,
the Lionel version of Corvus.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because y'all were in an alternate reality.
and y'all jumped off the roof. Is that
Yeah, it was.
We didn't we did some cool stuff off the roof.
Yeah, I will say. I think it was what me, you, and Tony's character
Yeah.
Yeah.
all jumped. And I'm the only
Yep.
one who actually made the landing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
which
Y'all
is
were
how we meant it to go.
exactly. And y'all were smoking from a large acorn. I
Yeah,
remember that too.
Yeah.
That was so funny. God, that was so funny. Phase two had some really funny stuff in it. It really did. And I think now that we're getting into this new arc, which I'm super excited about, by the way. For those of you who are just joining us, we're about to go into our new arc, which is an alternate reality arc, where all of our characters have been replaced by alternate versions of themselves, and the whole arc is basically they have to rejoin the party in order to get back to their own reality. Um, but it's going to be a lot of fun because they get to play characters that are not their characters, but they are their characters. As if something. I gave each of them a world prompt and said, "Okay, this is where your world. This is the world you're from. Create a character based in that world." And you all created some really cool stuff, which I'm very excited about. I can't wait for us to get into it. As we get into the latter half of this stream, we'll get into that soft introduction to the arc. Um, but I want to talk a little bit more about some more world stuff, and the idea of building in this world. Because I told you guys, anything you build in this world, it becomes canon. It immediately becomes canon. Even your alternate realities, if you're building an alternate reality, it becomes canon. It becomes a playable place. Like maybe a campaign will happen there. I don't know. But that's why I was like, okay, you get as detailed as you can. That's why I was like, oh, what's the socioeconomics, of the world? Who's the dominant species? Who's the, what is the sort of this, that, and the others? So you guys can create, and because this is, I love it when players create in the world. That's why everything, like I said, everything you guys are doing right now becomes part of the world that already exists in the future. And I'll tie it. Everything you guys do, I will tie into something that happened either in phase one or phase two. One of the big ones, Oh, before I get into that, I want to ask questions. What has been your over the, Nick? Unfortunately, just for you for Origins, but everybody else, what has been what has been your favorite bad guy?
Ooh.
Naira? She scared me.
Pretty good.
Good. She was supposed to.
She did.
Um, you know, man, there's like there's, oh God, I'm torn. I'm really torn.
Well, you get to give me more than one if you want. It's,
Naira's definitely up there for me. I think Celtic's most favorite person in the world in Orlea. That anytime you role played that character, that
Aristotle.
Aristotle, yeah. Anytime you role played Aristotle, oh my God, it's just. I was like, ah, shit. like as soon as I heard the voice, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, two of my favorite characters, my NPCs to play in Orlea were Aristotle and Vashnu.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Washington was great.
Yeah, no,
Those are my two favorites.
Aristotle was definitely probably my favorite villain just because all the stuff that happened with him.
Yeah.
And one of the fact that he was like,
Well,
you know,
Vashnu
like,
wasn't really a villain. I love
No,
Regina.
he wasn't really a bad guy.
yeah.
I love Regina. I loved her from the
Oh,
get,
yes.
and I've always loved her.
Yeah. Yeah. There will always be no matter what if I'm running an Orlea campaign, there will always be an iteration of Regina in it somewhere. Always.
Oh, who was the? This isn't a bad guy,
Aristotle too.
but who was the character that we met? Well, at least my Corvus met her towards the end. I think she was like a tavern owner. She had a very like. Oh man, she just had like this.
That's Regina.
Was it Regina?
Madam Regina.
Is that who we're? Okay,
Yeah,
so then,
big, loud, busty.
Real
Kind of
southern
the
accent.
Mae West.
okay. I thought you were talking about Aristotle's secretary at first, but yes, that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
You
because
mean
I like.
Vashnu's secretary, Beatrice?
Oh yeah, yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah,
No.
both Regina, Beatrice, Aristotle. Those were like great characters to see.
Yeah, Beatrice was fun too.
Yeah, Beatrice was so much fun.
I have
Nick,
to
what-
say, for what I've gone through, Shibalba.
Oh yeah,
Sending
Oh, yeah.
Varric to a plane of lava with monsters as like you're gonna cool off for a minute, gone.
Yeah.
I think that was the closest Varric ever came to like legitimately raging. Like, oh, I'm getting back up there, and it's like, no, you're staying there.
You can stay right
Stay down there.
Yeah, Xibalba. This is one of the great things about that is Xibalba. This is the first time I've actually been able to play Xibalba as an actual character in the campaign, because he's mentioned. I think we briefly met him in Phase 2, like brief. He and Gaia both, but this is the first time I actually got to play him, and he's a son of a bitch. I mean, he is an absolute. He doesn't give a flying fuck. He's like, talk shit to me. Go ahead, keep talking shit to me. It's like, I'm literally a god, dude. Poof. It's like, yeah.
He probably sees Varric as just some like toddler throwing a tantrum. He just
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, just take your time. You get that out of your system. You're good.
Hang out for a little while on a plane of fire. Have fun. So yeah, Xibalba's fun. He's super fun. I hope, and I'll get to play him again at some point. So
I gotta run up and grab my kid real quick.
You're
I'll
good.
be back in a few.
all right, we'll see you when you get back. Aristotle is one of those that you guys will see him again. You guys will also, and this is just sort of like some flash forward, some spoiler type stuff. You guys are gonna meet some of the Phase 1 characters at some point too, as well.
Oh, yay!
You'll meet a couple of other folks from like Phase 2 as well. You'll meet some of those, more like the deities, more than anything else. And I might even bring some guest folks in and play some stuff, some characters from Phase 2. And
We had some great people that play that unfortunately can't play with us anymore. You
Yeah.
know, um, like Joff. What was? Oh,
Oh
what was
yeah, it
the?
was
Oh, I was just thinking about him the other day.
yeah, he played
He played the
the robot.
Warforged.
Yeah, the Warforged.
Yeah,
God, what
it
was his
was.
name?
I love
What
that
was his name?
I
What was that
know. I'm
kid?
like totally blanking on it.
character.
Uh, oh God, what was it?
It was Watt.
Watt. That's it.
What?
It was
Yeah,
Watt. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah. Watt.
And then we had the guy that had a full blown dragon, and he just like went away, and we killed him and had a big funeral. You
Oh
know?
yeah, that was yeah. He had family problems. Some really deep shit went down with his family. And I liked the guy, and he and I had conversations, and he was so sad that he couldn't continue, and he was actually quite angry about it, and I was like, well, it's okay, and I was like, and then he told me, he's like, send my character off, give him a good send off, and I was like, okay, and we did, and then we had a big funeral for him, and yeah, that was I remember that, yeah,
But there were some
I kind of wished,
wonderful people.
yeah, I really wish Taryn was here because Taryn could talk about poor Jolene and
Oh
her
God.
mother and father dying constantly.
Oh,
Mostly her
man.
Yeah,
dad.
that was even worse than what you did to
To
Kieran and
Roman.
what you've done to Nick. I mean,
Or Nick, yeah.
how many times did Jolene watch her father die? You know?
So many times.
Oh my God.
So many times. Yeah. And that was a great character too. That was a really cool character because she couldn't speak. She used sign language. It
Yep.
was our first character that used sign language to communicate. And then eventually the gods gave her a voice, but yeah, that was really cool. That was a really cool concept. So yeah, I have to say probably Naira is one of my favorite baddies, only because I love her history and her lore, and the fact that she has been released on the world multiple times. Apparently, they
Mhm.
just can't keep her in this damn box. Somebody's always trying to open this cube. For those of you who don't know, if you're watching, Naira is an entity, one of three, because I do everything in threes. Um, that was so bad that her sisters sacrificed themselves to lock her in a box in a cube. It's called the Cube of Vesh, and it's this ornamental cube. It's anyone who carries it around with them is influenced by it. It's so evil, and she has followers. She has like priests that are constantly trying to get a hold of this cube and open it to bring her back into the world. And there are many times in Orlean history where she has been released onto the world. And usually those are moments where the whole world is upheaved and we kind of go into we have a shift in time period. For like between phase 1 and phase 2, it was her, and that was what was it called? The great
Ah.
yeah, I didn't pull up all my time. I have a timeline, but there was this whole thing where she literally destroyed the world, and the world had to rebuild itself, and that's where phase 2 comes in. That's the new world, and at the end of phase 2, the world gets destroyed again, and then she gets put back in the box, and then we went backwards to Origins, but you guys have skipped forward in time beyond the Dragon Wars, and she was released somewhere right after the Dragon Wars happened. It's because I think she's every 1,000 years or so, give or take. It's not exactly that, but it just depends. And then because then she's released again in phase 1, and then later on in phase 2. But and that they were phase 1 and phase 2 I think was 350 years I think apart. Um, so it doesn't necessarily have to be that long, but yeah. So there was a moment already where Naira has been released into the world. and it was during the Dragon War, because the Dragon War, which eventually we will get to, is all thanks to Avessis's twin brother, Eldrin, who is the evil version of this sort of dragon deity. He's the twin brother of Avessis, who's this sort of benevolent dragon deity, and he has a twin brother named Eldrin, who he imprisoned because he's just so evil. And funny thing is, in Origins, yeah, in this campaign, because remember, everything comes in threes. So there is another brother.
Oh.
Which we haven't met yet. You haven't met the other brother yet. So that's a sort of spoiler. There is a third brother, and eventually you guys will encounter them.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is.
Get ready, Mint.
Yeah. And this will be the middle brother, because Avessis is the good, Eldrin is the darker, and then there's the middle, because there's always a three, and everything happens in threes. There's a good, a bad, and a balance. Our three main deities of Orlea are Gaia, Xibalba, Gaia the good, Xibalba is on the dark side, and then there's Ahriman, who's the balance. He's in the middle. And underneath each of those gods are three other gods. So they always come in threes. Everything comes in threes. So if you ever meet two siblings or whatever, there's probably a third one floating around somewhere. Especially when it comes to deities and supernatural creatures and things like that. But the Orlea's lore is very deep and very vast. And the thing I love about Origins is we are literally creating a lot of the lore that happens in Phase 1 and Phase 2. So that's why, like, everything you guys do, and this is me as the DM because I'm the world creator, but this is me. Everything y'all do, I am taking note of, and I am tying it into something that happens in Phase 1, Phase 2. I'm like, yeah, like when Mint does something, and it's like, oh yeah, that ties into this, and this, when Willow does her thing, that ties into this, and Varric, and Kieran, and Mako, and all that. Because we also have another player named Riku who plays Mako, who is a homebrew race that is a sort of hybrid of Surge, which is the platform we use for Wind Riders, and D&D 5e. And so he's sort of a race of manta type people, but he's a water race. So he'll have some lasting impact, and of course, Terran's Bellinor will have lasting impact. So all of these characters, even though they're not related to anyone specifically, like blood related to anyone in the other phases, they're going to have a significant impact on what comes after them, which I'm super excited about. And that's, just watching each of you do your thing, it just gets more and more exciting every session. And that's kind of why I wanted to move us to this 2-on, 2-off sort of thing, so that we could kind of hit, and then take a break, and hit, take a break. Because we also run Wind Riders, and Wind Riders is on a hiatus. It's coming back. I'm just restructuring some stuff, but it'll be back. But I really like this, and I might see if they want to do a 2-on, 2-off type thing as well. So, but yeah. So any fun things, any fun facts, any crazy stories that you guys want to share, just in our world in general? It doesn't have to be Origins, doesn't have to be Phase 2, Phase 1. It could just be in our world in general. If there's something you guys, just some fun little fact, or
I have a
to say I
question.
do love Christian's little dice tower.
Oh, well, I'll do it if you.
Yes, I love it. It
It
literally makes me smile.
Yeah, when my wife got it for me, I was so happy. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna grab a handful.
I love it. I just love it.
That is It's like, and
It
then
just
you,
makes me giggle every single time
it's
you
like-
do it.
So
It makes me giggle.
I have a question.
Okay.
Have has have the players' influence ever made you change the end game?
Not change it per se, but change how we get there. The end game is always the end game, but how you guys get there has changed multiple times. I have had to rework the end game to fit the new narrative.
Okay.
But the way phase 2 ended is the way I wanted it to end. The way phase 1 ended it ended the way I wanted it to end.
Okay.
This one will end a certain way. But how you guys get there, that ending never changes. It's how we get there that changes. So, yeah.
I'm gonna give y'all maximum dice tower right now.
Maximum twinkling.
Yeah, this might be a thing. We can do this thing where like maybe if you want to, you can just like add this to the points thing. How we have the drink. And it's like first it starts with the ASMR me pouring the dice out of the
I
bag,
literally hear all those dice being
Right.
poured. Oh my god.
and then it's just like okay, here we go.
Oh my god.
I love it.
That is the best freaking thing ever.
It'll be like when I crit or something, or we do.
That is
Something.
that's the best freaking thing ever.
So like I like to say that I accidented into the whole like streaming D&D thing. I was never ever gonna I could never see myself doing this. And like one day I'm on TikTok. This was like a long time ago. I think I've said this, I've shared this before. And I see Will's video about D&D. I think you posted a video or something, or
Probably.
I don't know what it was. I saw somebody's video, and it was just a call for players.
Oh yeah.
And there was like an application, and I filled out the
Yeah.
application. I did all this stuff, and I was like, man, they're really going to be serious. Okay, in my mind, I thought I was just going to play online D&D streaming, like as in like you're just streaming with a group of people to get the connectivity.
Uh-huh.
I was not thinking like it was a show.
Right.
So yeah, so like when I ended up doing it and realizing what I was doing, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
people are gonna watch this.
Yeah, I know, right? And I want to piggyback on that. One of the big things about this whole project is, I know everybody is all like, oh, views, views, views. And that's not really what I'm here for. I'm here for, literally, we have created this sort of really cool friend group, and I just want to play with you guys. It's like, and I stream because I'm like, hey, maybe other people want to watch us, be stupid and crazy and, laugh at ourselves and, take ourselves too seriously sometimes. And, and it's just, that's really what it really is. I mean, I'm thankful for all the people who have like followed us, and please, by all means, keep following us and follow us on all the other stuff, YouTube and all that, but I just want people to know that I like coming on here and playing with my friends. I mean, truly, you guys make it so much fun. It's not work. A lot of people think, DMing is so much work. You guys don't make it work at all. You make it fun. Even when I have to completely rewrite what we're doing, I'm just like, this is the best. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna go that way. All right, let's go that way. So you go that way, you're encountering this thing, and it's like, and I'm really, it's for me as a DM, I'm like a kid. I'm really like a kid. Like, and I'll use an example. When you guys were in the Feywild and you were fighting off Allosauruses and all that craziness, it's like I was just throwing that crap in there just because it would be fun.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's throw an Allosaurus in there. Why not? Sure, sure. Why not? Let's, this, that, and the other. I mean, it was literally just so I could have, because I'm having fun, and I mean, you guys, and you guys just went with it.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's one of the things is like, that's why I say, like, and I really mean it when I say this, like, I wasn't prepared to be online playing in front of people, but like, y'all made it so fun and y'all are so good at all the stuff that you do. It's just like, oh man, I keep coming back for more because I want to see what happens. And I want to see what they, like, everybody does again. It's like I'm watching a show and getting to be part of the show at the same time. It's just so cool.
I get that.
Yeah, it's. I remember because we test played you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because we test played all the applicants, and when you test played, it was like a unanimous yes.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it
It
was.
was.
Everyone was like, that Christian guy, man. Oh my God, yeah, yeah. If we can get him, let's get him. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. You were like the top of my list. And so then I offered you the thing, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to." And then you came on, and it's been history ever since.
Yeah,
It's
man.
been blissful chaos ever since.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I came across that random TikTok video. I yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're one of those people. Oh, Nick's back. I didn't even see that. I look up and I'm like, "Oh, he's back." Yeah, you're one of those that. Actually, everybody here, and that's not just you, Christian, but everybody here right now will always have a seat at my table.
Oh man, thank you.
Always, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Speaking of that, speaking of chair at my table, I'm already working on the next campaign,
Nice.
and this one is going to be in
Nudge.
the Old West.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
We're gonna go to the Old West.
You said
I
Old West?
remember that. That was insane. These people, suddenly there's like gas lights, and we were like, what kind of magic is this?
Yep. But I think we're gonna go into the Old West and have some.
Oh,
fun
how
there.
fun.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
exciting.
still planning that. I'm still building on it. I haven't nothing solid yet, but just so you all
Yeah,
know.
because you were talking about something completely different last time.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we talked about it.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, I had so much fun. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Here, I'll show that on the thing. That's from Slayer. There's so much that I can do. That's what I love about this world is, and it's not just me. It's all of you guys have built so much into this world that I could put the next campaign anywhere, and it would be like super like deep in lore, and there'd be so much to play with, and and it's because we get literally with all these alternate realities. I could go into one of these alternate realities now, and we could play in that, and do something really fun and cool. So I'm working on the next one. So just be aware that when this one eventually comes to an end, you might get an invitation to another one.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Just FYI. Yeah. So yeah, you guys. I have to say, it has been a pleasure having you guys. You guys make my job so easy and hard at the same time.
That's the sign of a good party, I think.
And I
Really.
love
Yeah.
that. I love that. This is one of my favorite things about you guys. Not one of my. There's many favorite things, but this is one of them. Is that you're not murder hobos, but you're not afraid to murder if you have to. Yeah.
I don't know. Mint's
Seriously.
been kind of hovering that line.
Well, fair. It's fair.
Yeah. Mint
Yeah,
also
that's fair.
thinks he's gonna become a dragon, so he's gonna.
That's true.
Yeah.
He does believe that he's.
But
gonna
yeah,
be-
no, I agree. Mint has been definitely. I didn't when I made the character. I really didn't think it through, man. I didn't think like longevity, and I was thinking to myself the other day. I was like, damn, dude, I should have known better because like Will's campaigns are pretty in depth.
We're long and in depth.
I gotta use this character for a while, but then that's when it became really fun. When I realized I was like, hey, I'm gonna get to really explore this fucking chaos goblin. So,
Yeah. That's. But see, that's one of the great things about you, though, Christian, as a player, and I'm just DM to player, is that you come up with the craziest ideas that end up
thank you.
being the deepest, coolest damn characters like ever. Like Mint already is like a favorite. Like holy goodness. And I know he was just sort of like, oh, I'm going to play this like goblin, and it's like, I mean, his patron's a dragon. I mean, he wants to be a dragon, and it's so cool because he's so not like stereotypical goblin.
Oh,
Like at the
yeah.
beginning, he kind of was, but then when he and Avessus got hooked up together, you took him in a whole different direction. He's still kind of quirky and cool and fun and chaotic, but he kind of it to me from watching you play him, I feel like he feels that he has a future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As opposed
Yeah.
to I'll do my thing until I die.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, I have there's an end game for me, and that's what it feels like, and that's such a testament to you as a player because Corvus was like that too.
Thank you.
Corvus, he was a little more solid, but it wasn't until you really got going with him and us kind of creating some like deeper backstory with him and all that all of a sudden he was like one of my absolute favorite characters.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Corvus was easier to get my head wrapped around. Like I could understand him more than Mint. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm just gonna roll a d20, and if it goes high, he's gonna go in this direction. If
And
it goes
sometimes
low, he's going in this
that's
direction.
okay though, but even though yes you do chaotic rolls and like, oh, let's see where he's going today, but you commit to it so much that it's deeper than that,
Thank you, appreciate it.
or it becomes deeper than that. I mean, I understand sometimes it's like, what, because we're literally like, what the hell is Mint going to get into this session? Because he's going to get into something, but then he does. But then you make it something more than just him being a troublemaker.
Mm.
And that's what I love about that. I love about you as a player. Is this is great, and
Thank you.
and like Nick, man, what can I say about Nick? Nick is one of those. He's a DM's dream player. Just I mean, it's same as with like Christian, but no, seriously, because you'll go with anything. You will go with anything, and it's so fun to watch. And it's also fun to watch you like really get into character. It's super fun. It's like when he's like the whole time y'all are in Arcadia City, and was it you and Mint that were walking around together? Oh my god, that was so funny. It was so funny.
I just know that anytime I see Varric interacting with anybody, it's entertaining. It's so cool. Like I know I'm either gonna like it's gonna either be like, oh my god, like I'm gonna see like some really deep memorable moments, or it's gonna be like something fucking hilarious. And then like
Appreciate that, guys.
and Nick does like such a good job of like assisting, like being like like tossing you the scene. It's really
Yeah.
cool. It's just really cool to interact because yeah.
Yep. Indeed. And and then of course, Lisa, you've been there since the beginning, and all the characters you've created have been so cool. You and we've had conversations and have built and expanded, and it's super cool. The thing about Lisa has me like right here, so we can literally get together and talk about these things. But
We talked at lunch today.
yeah, yeah, and we converse about all this cool stuff, and you have so many great ideas that it inspires me to create new things, which I did for your alternate version of Willow, which we'll get into later. But it's just so fun. It's just fun, and you contribute to the lore, and I mean, like the whole Lothari thing when we built the whole. You were like, oh, Lothari, blah blah. I'm like, oh, and then it just exploded. You know, the Averile were the same way. We talked about the Averile; though they exploded. I created that whole thing, and it
Yeah,
was
because
just
when we were talking about phase two and being a descendant, I
yeah,
said, well, what if when this big cataclysm that I can't remember what we called it either was, what if Lith became like ice world, like
yeah,
instead of, that's how that island changed. So the Litharia become like, you know, winter wolves, winter wolf. Yeah.
yeah.
um, and I'm like, yeah, but now we got to come up with some cool stuff. And like literally, like it took him 8 seconds, and he's like, frostbite. It does this, 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 and this. I'm like, wow. He's just yeah. You come up with the best. It's like I could never get there on my own, and I like to think I inspire you to go in those directions sometimes.
Oh, it was the wasting. That was what it was called. The time between phase one and phase two is called the wasting.
Mm.
I was like, what was it called? I was like, damn it. It's like, and I can't remember.
I wish we had like a a step by step timeline to share with Nick so he would understand where it's all been and how it got to where we are.
Well, there is sort of a timeline in the Discord.
But I mean, it's like there were these characters, and then these characters begat this character, and how it all happened.
Well, that is, I mean, yeah, that would be nice, but that would take me a long time to put together.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
on that note, I was gonna ask you a question. Um, and I'm just curious. I guess from the DM's perspective, organizing all of the stuff, like all the ideas. I know everybody does it different. Like mine is like an organized mess. Like I just have piles and piles of stuff written down, and I try to like piece it all together when I'm about to actually run a session. What do you use? Like what do you use to like keep track of your notes?
Oh God, do you really want to know?
Yes,
Let me see. Let me find it real quick, and I'll show you.
because mine's like a stack of like printer paper that I'll just grab sheets out of and I'll write things out because I like to write more than I like to type and
Right.
stuff.
No,
And
I get that totally. Now, I will say that I put all of, you can't really see it, I put all of Orlea in a binder. However, if you really want to know how I organize my stuff, let me show you. I'll pull the Windrider binder real quick because it's a perfect example. Come on, binder. All right. It's so bad. All right, let me see if I can show it to you guys without throwing things everywhere. Oh, here, let me turn my background off. So I don't suggest that anyone do it like this. But it works for me.
You know it's gonna be good when he starts like that. Wow.
Oh
And
wow.
it's like notes on top of notes.
Oh, that's a good
It's
idea.
like-
That's a really good idea, though.
So I keep it's all sticky post-it notes, and eventually I will write it all down and put it into a folder or a file. But that's how I keep track. It's literally just sticky notes, or I'll write notes. Just like during a session, I'll just write
that's
notes
cool.
down.
I like process stuff. That's really neat. I think I'm gonna have to get a binder.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, like I said, this is the Orlea binder. This is phase 1, 2, and Origins.
Wow.
So, and it's all, and it was all sticky notes at one point, but now it's all like typed out and
I have
pictures.
I have about 50 steno pads that I'll flip through trying to remember something where I wrote a name down.
Yeah, exactly.
I was literally just doing that right now. I have this little notebook where I write and sketch and do stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not here. It's not here. Oh, it's in the other notebook, and I'm like going to find all my notebooks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's how I keep sort of track. Like literally, see here's these are on my desk.
Oh, nice. So as we're playing, you're writing down your notes, and then you
Yep.
like.
Then I put them in my binder.
Oh, that's so good. I need to borrow that.
Yeah, it's like Phindrel Tree.
Every time I go back to a session, I'm just like, shit, I don't remember anything. You know what? We'll just wing it.
Yeah, we'll wing it. So
Yeah.
now I do. Sometimes I get so into what we're doing that I completely forget. So I'll have to go back and watch the VOD and go, what did I say? What was that person's name? Or what was that thing's name? Or I'll say, hey, Lisa, what was the name of that thing? So it's like, because I just didn't write it down. And I know that she probably did. So, yeah.
Nice.
And usually I'm like throwing four, because I'll write a name down, but there's no context to it. So I'm just throwing names at him, hoping one sticks.
And then I'll go back and watch them. Oh, that was their name, or oh, that was the thing. Like,
Yeah.
and I have like documents and documents and documents, and like if I create anything homebrew, I create a document. And I have like on my desktop, I have a folder for Origins, and there's a homebrew file in there, and everything that I've ever homebrewed for Orlea in general is in that folder. So I can go back and bring like pocket sand. Remember when we did the pocket
Yes,
sand?
yes, yes.
Fire. It was called fire sand, but yeah. So I have that, and I've got so many from phase 2. I've got so much stuff from phase 2. But yeah, so and I like, for those also watching, I like making my players, my PCs powerful. I like them to be I like them to feel like they have power in this world. A lot of DMs keep you very, very low power, like weapons and things like that. I'm very much like, you know what? I'm going to give you some kind of ungodly, stupid weapon, and don't worry, I've got the bad guys for you to fight with it. So don't worry about that. But because I want you guys to feel empowered and not helpless. Because sometimes, because I've been in campaigns where the DM has kind of kept you on the low end of like weaponry, and I don't like that. I'm like, you know what? You're going up against something like we always think, oh, well, it's a party. There's 6 of them. I mean, yeah, but sometimes parties split up. All of a sudden, Varric's over here by himself, and he's about to have to fight a freaking adult dragon. He's got to have the means to do it. It's like. So I want to make sure that you guys are powerful, but also know that I will create a monster that will kill you. So
Can attest to that. Yes, that's very true.
Yes. So if nothing else, I'll just bring out the big guns like Naira or those guys, something like that. So yeah. So but I always want to make sure that my players feel empowered when they're playing, because it's important to me that you guys really believe that your characters could survive in this world. So yeah. So I hope that has come across. I hope I have succeeded in that. My other thing that I love to do as a DM is I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance in the spotlight. It's everybody's story, and I want to make sure. That's why I'm always like, okay, let's pause there and let's go over here and see what these guys are doing. Okay, let's pause there and let's go over and see what these guys are doing, because I want to make sure everybody has their moment in the spotlight. Because that's important to me as well. Because again, I've been in campaigns as a player where I would sit at a table for 2 hours before anything happened to my character, and that's no fun. So I hope that I have, as a DM, I hope I have given you guys the things that you need to have a good time. It's always imposter syndrome always kicks in. You think, oh God, they're having a horrible time. They're not enjoying it at all, and I sit and cry in a corner somewhere, and well, I don't really do that, but I mean, it's like, but I do go, oh God, I really hope they had a good time last night, or I hope they were having a good time, because we, even though you'd be like, oh yeah, I had a great time. We see the exact opposite through our lenses. I see like, oh God, they're bored. Oh God, they're angry. Or oh God, they're this or that and the other thing. So I always hope that at the end of every session, you guys have had a good time and legitimately have had a good time, and I've given you the things you need and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, I can honestly say I know after like we do the raid and everything's kind of shut down and it's just us chatting. Every time every time that I've said I've had a good that was a good session, I've had a good time. It goes with Kellen's games too, and with like the Thursday games. And if I'm sitting here saying like, man, that was fun, that's coming from a place of honesty. I'm not trying to like. There's no placating happening there. This is the most fun I've had, honestly, since I've probably started playing D&D back in like 2005. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And this is not, guys, just so everybody knows, this is not me looking for compliments. You don't have to say anything.
No, I just wanted you to know at least where I'm coming from.
Fair. I just want y'all to know that I hope that I give you what you need, and if I don't, you can tell me off stream so you don't make me cry. Just kidding. I'm not gonna cry, but yeah. So I don't know what happened to Mint. I guess he had to step away.
He just had to step away for a few minutes.
Okay, cool. Oh, got it. Okay, that's fine. So, all right, cool. So that was great. Thank you guys for watching that part of our show. Now we're going to get into our soft launch. We're going to jump in for the last part of the stream tonight. I want to get us started into our new arc. I'll just set it up a little bit. For those of you who are just now watching, we are moving into our new arc, which is an alternate reality arc, where all of our player characters have been replaced by alternate reality versions of themselves from different realities. By a strange entity of sorts in a Phindrel Tree in the middle of this glade. And so we're going to jump into that real quick. So, all right. So real quick, since last time we were here, you guys had the big Phindrel tree. We found out Phindrel trees were ancient trees. They only grow in pairs. So there's this one, and there's probably another one somewhere else. There was a barrier around the tree that you all eventually crossed over into and realized, oh, it's just a big tree. But then you realized that you couldn't get out. You couldn't exit the tree area. And then suddenly you hear a voice that basically says, do you want to play a game? And basically, blink of an eye, you all find yourselves, our player characters find themselves replaced by alternate versions of themselves. And I'm going to, real quick before we get into the actual play, I want you to go around and kind of remind us a little bit about your character, what we're seeing. So what the audience sees for the very first time. So we'll start to my left with Varric, and then we'll work our way around clockwise.
So this is the alternate Varric?
Yes, this is the alternate version of Varric.
He would appear a couple inches taller, definitely a couple inches wider, just more bulk. And his body is sort of adorned with scars. He's got, instead of his like more taken care of kind of a shorter beard, he has a longer kind of grislier beard. And no laugh lines. He's got 0 laugh lines on his face. He's all like constantly furrowed brow, constantly frowning, always basically in permanent survival mode.
Okay. Let's go down to Mint.
Hey, so I would say that the mint that, boy, words are hard. The mint that we are familiar with is like a Stitch meets toothless kind of character, right? Like,
Okay.
like the one that we're familiar with, like like a little bit of chaos, good natured, so to speak. For a goblin, he's not like evil or anything, and
Right.
so like so this mint I think is a little bit different. So he would like he still has that childlike height. He's very small. He's kind of draped in violet and gold, and he kind of has this confidence, like the same kind of confidence Mint has, but it seems a little more dangerous. Um, he has like a violet glow behind his eyes, and he does still carry bones. Bones are still a thing, but except these bones are like they've been like dipped or adorned with gold. You know, yeah, they're like polished very deliberately, and there's like this resonant energy that kind of hangs around him. Not quite magic, not quite an enchantment. So yeah, I guess that's the best way I could describe him.
Okay. No, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Cool. Willow.
Um, the Willow that you see now is very. She's wearing sort of a mechanical kind of armor. There's cogs and gears and um, yeah, and whereas our the Willow our Willow is very I'd say reticent, not that sure of herself. This Willow is very centered, very still, very focused. Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. All right. And Kieran.
So this version of Kieran, his overall decorum is very much as similar as it was, with the Prime version that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
This one's dressed up more in like an actual suit, more so than the general fantasy style clothing we've been seeing. Hair slicked back. He's got a bit more gray in his hair compared to before, though.
Okay.
And it's like a three-piece suit too, so vest,
Nice.
jacket, the works.
Okay. Cool. All right. Excellent. So you're all there. You see each other for the first time. What are your reactions? So, and we can go in the same order we went in, or if y'all want to just do it randomly, it's up to you. But otherwise,
Well, I remember last time when we did the whole initial reaction. Kieran looked at, I guess, Varric B is what we can call him in this instance, or 2.0, whatever, and be like, "What the hell happened to you, Varric?" Because I remember Nick say he was like all covered in blood from the battlefield.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Varric pointed at Kieran and was just like through his teeth, like, "What did you do?"
Okay. Willow.
She's just like completely looking around, looking at everything, looking at everybody, and then she says, "I can't be here. I cannot be here." Yep.
Okay. Mint.
Let's see, Mint. He will kind of look at everybody, and he'll say, "Oh, please continue. I enjoy seeing who thinks they can afford to be interesting."
Oh,
That's fantastic. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So as you're all staring there, looking at each other, so out of you all, and I don't know out of the thing. So my question is, who here either knows everybody or does not know everybody? Or is somebody here?
I do not know anybody.
Okay, so Willow knows nobody.
I
What
would
about
say,
Mint or Varric? Kieran
I'll say, well, Kieran definitely,
knows Varric.
recalls Varric
Okay.
from his version. I think he would also recall Mint as well.
Okay. Okay, what about Varric?
Varric, there is a version of everybody in where Varric came from.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. What about Mint?
I didn't think about that, and right now I'm trying to decide if. So I'm gonna lean towards what Nick said. Like, there's a version of everyone, but I can't decide if some people are still there or not. Like,
Oh, if
I'm
some
thinking,
died or
moved on to something
moved on.
else. Like,
Okay, that's
so I was
fine.
thinking about rolling a dice at random, like just to decide who has
Gone.
decided to go away. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to do that now, but if you want to go that route, we can. But you know that there is a version of all of them in your world.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. So as you guys are sort of staring at each other, seeing each other, the voice in the tree is like, "Ah, now all the pawns are here. What board shall we play on?" So I'm gonna do some rolls. Okay. I need Varric. I need you to roll me a d6, please.
Okay. That is a 3.
Cool. Then I need you to roll a d12.
Okay. That is an 8.
Okay, cool. So as the voice continues, it's like, where shall we play our game? La, where should we play? Should we go with you? And you like, and it's like this like random spotlight hits Willow. Like, or should we hit you? And then Mint, it lights up Mint. And then, or is you? And it lights up Kieran. Or, aha, you. Light hits Varric. And it says, work your way home. And you all vanish from Orlea Prime and appear in Varric's world.
Oh no.
On the battlefield.
Oh no!
And Varric, you have been away from your world for 8 days. So here's a question before we get into what alternate world's doing. What is the actual Varric doing in your world for 8 days?
I think he would have popped in and immediately saw this like sea of dead bodies.
Okay.
And the way I had it imagined, because of their relationship, Kieran would have been hiding under the dead bodies because it was actually his spell, like that I kind of, that alternate Varric goaded him into doing that caused that to happen.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
at the same time as when he got kind of bamfed away, so he assumed that that spell had something to do with it. But I think given time, he Prime Varric would have found Kieran and would have left the field and gone back to do their original mission. Because I don't think Kieran would probably be like, oh, like you just got whammied by magic. Like you don't remember. You look different. It must have been the magic. Like he's not as
Okay.
well versed in magic as Prime Kieran is.
Okay, very cool. So your version of Kieran took Prime Varric and took him away somewhere. So
Yeah, thinking that
Okay.
he's the alternate Grey.
love that. Okay, so who were you fighting?
It was. I actually had this written down. It was because Varric used to belong to a mercenary company, and
Ooh.
because he is like one of the few surviving Goliaths, he is like a one-man army. He left to join the cult of Mint after being previously wounded.
Love it.
And they took him in and they sheltered him and they brought that's actually where he met Kieran. And then going out and trying to like spread the good word of Mint, he ran into another mercenary group who was hired by his original mercenary group to capture him, but they see this as an opportunity. It's like, we can take a Goliath off the board. Like, this is a big deal. So they basically sent all their men in to kill Varric. And
Are they
yeah.
human? Are they is it multiple races? What is it?
multiple races, multiple classes, just they basically take who they can get, essentially.
Fair enough. And what level is Varric at in this world? Like alternate
Prime Varric? Alternate Varric is level 19.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
So, as you all appear on this battlefield, it's been 8 days since you were here, but the smell of death is still very prominent, and you can still hear fighting going on nearby. As you appear. So there you are. So all of you are in the middle on this battlefield. Bodies everywhere. Blood, guts all over the place. What do you do? Like, so Varric, this is your world. What's the first thing you do?
He still thinks that this alternate Kieran is his Kieran. So he's going to go to him, grab him by his shirt, and just lift him off the ground. Like, what sort of magical shenanigans did you get us into?
I was like,
Hang on, gotta let the dog out.
You're good.
Okay, come on, Gigi.
so when you do that, hold on. Characters would probably help if I pulled up this version of Kieran.
By the way, I absolutely love this. This is
Of course you do, Mister.
Yeah.
Alt.
oh my god, it's so much fun.
I was trying to like think of a really funny, like a really good name for the cult, and I'm just like, cult Mint would absolutely call his cult a cult.
So fucking
He wouldn't try to like
hilarious.
flavor it up. He would. It's absolutely a cult.
Yeah, he would even like describe the hierarchy of the cult, you know, in great detail. Oh my god.
So with you holding Kieran up, he's gonna look at you. He's like, I don't know what has gotten into you, Varric, but you need to let me go now.
He's gonna glare at you and then just drop you.
Yeah, like, so when Kieran looks up, he'll look at you like, good lad. Now, where the fuck are we?
You don't remember? You cast a spell that caused all of this.
No, I try not to cast spells unless I absolutely have to. That's why I have you working for me.
I work for... That's rich.
That's rich.
There's a reason why people call you Kieran Halfheart.
Damn.
Oh yeah, this Varric is kind of a dick. I should mention that.
I love it.
You're
though.
good. You're good.
That's fantastic.
Varric,
Okay.
you need to figure out what is going on because this does not sound like you.
Can I do like any kind of insight check to see like if I can glean any sense of why I feel like this guy is not acting like my Kieran?
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys can do all of the normal checks. So yeah, do
Level
it, and
19 still +1 to insight.
he'll tell you what you know, what you glean from it. And
So that was a 9, so that's a 10. Not very insightful, this Varric.
I was gonna say I don't think it's gonna be much.
Yeah.
So okay.
He's
So
gonna.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think he. I think he's. So actually, so Kieran, are you trying to be elusive, or
Nope.
is it you're literally like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you?
No, I am being straightforward.
Okay, so even with a 10, you can tell he's being pretty. He's being pretty straightforward.
I should have known that you weren't my Kieran, because the Kieran that works for me wouldn't be able to get away with that kind of attitude.
I love that. That works for me.
Honestly, I should say the same, because apparently, since you're not my Varric, the one I have, has a bit more manners.
Well, in this world, manners.
I don't know. I don't know who you people are, but I must insist that you return me to my given place immediately.
Varric is going to turn to talk to her, catch a glimpse of Mint out of the corner of his eye, and then immediately prostrate himself.
Golly.
That's brilliant.
Jesus.
Okay. So, Mint, you see this. What do you do?
Oh. Oh, jeez. So, well, let's see. So we arrive. I got to think of what this Mint would do, right? So we arrive, and you're saying it's an active battlefield, or the battlefield is like.
At the moment, it's just bodies, but you can hear fighting happening nearby.
So we land, a bunch of bodies everywhere.
Yes.
Okay. Mint is gonna he was paying attention for the first 2 seconds of that conversation, and then he just started looking around and doing just kind of scanning around. So as he turns back around and he sees Nick's character kneeling or bowing or whatever, he's just gonna say, "Kneel or stand. The outcome's already decided. Your loyalty is appreciated. Your betrayal is expected. Anyways, if it shines, it's taxed. If it resists, well, it's mine anyway, so just take it." And then he's just going to start walking.
Oh my
May
God.
I assume you are in charge here? I insist you send me back immediately.
No, in charge, I wouldn't say that much, but if I want it, it's pretty much already mine.
Okay. So, as you're all sort of trying to figure out what the hell's going on, Varric, roll me a perception.
That is a 13.
Okay. So, while this is happening and you've prostrated yourself to Mint, and he sort of said whatever you need to do, and you stood up, you notice this absolute change in the air. It's it's almost staticky. It's almost as if something's shifting. Everybody can hear the battles happening close by, the fighting. But Varric, you hear this extremely loud and guttural, scream coming from directly behind you from the wood line. And it's enough to send chills down your spine. As you turn to look, what you see is, and I'm going to throw this into our group chat on Discord. I'm sorry, because I don't think I can throw it in the. Can I throw it in the chat? If I can throw it in the chat, oh, I can. I will throw it in our little chat here. You find a very large, hulking sort of creature standing at the tree line. And did that go through? There it is. Did that come through? Can y'all see that
Oh yeah.
in the group chat? Yeah. And all it said.
Where am I looking?
You in the
Oh,
in our group
nice.
chat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's what you see.
Oh my God.
Step out of the wood line, and it's just deep guttural voice. It just says, "Varric, I come for you." And then it picks out a horn and it blows this horn, and like 15 of these massive orcs step onto the battlefield surrounding you all as he draws his weapon and rushes you. And that's where we're going to stop.
Nice.
I was immediately going into strategy mode. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. So now you have time to think about strategy.
Oh man,
as these gigantic, and they're huge. They're sort of Goliath orcs. They're genetically altered.
Oh,
They're massive. They're as tall as you, big, broad, sort of armored. Yeah, they're nasty.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and this one's name, and you know this one, and I'll give you this one. His name is Grushnak Bone Crown.
He's like Urukai altered.
Yeah, sort of an altered. Yeah, sort of a genetically altered Urukai.
Ah. Okay.
But I'll
we got this, guys. We got this.
Wait, we got this. This is nothing. You guys, come on.
Come
on, you know. Come on, Varric. This is your world, man.
Cool.
So that's
light work. Let's do
his
this.
name. But he is. You'll know, and I'll give this to everybody in our watching universe. This is the main guy who is after you from this other mercenary group. So he is coming for you. Everybody else is collateral damage, and they don't care about it. Well, they're going to try to kill everybody else, but he's coming for you. So, all right, cool. So that is our intro to our new arc, our alternate reality arc. So we'll be probably in the next couple of sessions in Varric's world. So we'll get to experience more of it as he searches for Prime Varric, because we don't know where he's at, because his version of Kieran took him off somewhere. So this will be fun to try to figure out. So, all right, we're going to go around, introduce who you are, who you're playing, your new character, your alternate character, and where we can find you. So we're just going to start in the same order. We're going to go with Varric first, and then we'll go clockwise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nick. I play Varric, not Kimbound, just Varric, the Goliath Barbarian. God, this is so cool. You can find me here every other Monday. I think we're going to be here next Monday, though, right? We're doing 2 Mondays in a row.
Yes, we'll be here next Monday.
Huzzah. So next Monday I'll be here. Also, I believe not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, we'll be doing the Reign of Vecna, where I play Nero Aspengard, the half-elf storm sorcerer. Then you can also find me on Kellen's channel, Celtic Wyvern King, for our Stargate SG1 campaign, where I play Vigo Aspenson. God damn, I can't talk today. Brain is mush. Vigo Sigmundsson, the Viking scientist who works for the Stargate team, Phoenix 5, which is just a blast. You can also find me on most socials under Professor Hexagon. I usually stick to Blue Sky and TikTok, but I believe I'm a little bit everywhere. And I just wanted to say this has been a crazy amount of fun. This is awesome.
Cool. All right, Mint.
Okay, so temporary hit points here. I play Mint Orcanus, and I would say the Bloodline Paladin Oath of the Dragon. But now I am
Yes.
playing. So something I didn't mention. I wasn't sure if I should, but all of that, all of the dialogue that just happened from Mint to everybody else, he never opened his mouth. So
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
yeah, his mouth never moved. You just heard him speaking in your minds,
Love it.
and he is a mind goblin. So
Oh, I love this.
you're welcome.
The jokes have just
Yeah,
opened up.
hey, you're welcome. To everybody out there,
What's a
this
mind goblin?
this one's for you.
It's so funny.
It's like those memes where it's like he's done it, and it's
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Welcome to
So
the ultimate joke, everybody.
God, but yeah. So I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen because I will try to play him the way he's intended, which is different from the Mint that we know. So, oh man, I think it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Cool. All right, Willow.
Hey, I'm Lisa. I play Willow 2.0. You know, the original lower level Willow where we started and got zapped into the future. I have 3 Willows hanging out on my character sheet. Um, you can find me every Monday night. Well, kind of. You can find me some Mondays here on Halfling Wizards channel. As Wind Riders is on hiatus right now, as we prepare to start a new arc in that game. And then, of course, you can find me here for Orlea Origins, which is going to be 2 on, 2 off. I think that's the plan for a little while.
Yeah.
And then every other Friday, you can find me on Celtic Wyvern King's channel or with Nick for his Stargate 5e campaign, where I play Captain Brooke Walker, MD, the team leader, and we've been captured by something bad. I don't know. We don't even know what's real or not real right now. Thanks, Cal. But always a lot of
You're
fun.
welcome.
Always, always, always a lot of fun there. Yeah. What was there another question?
No, there was no
Okay.
question. Just tell us who you are, who you play, and where we can find you.
Yeah.
All right. Kieran or Kel.
Hey, y'all, I'm Cal, also known as the Celtic Wyvern King. You can find me here pretty much every Monday, or I guess not with the hiatus on Wind Riders, but you can still find me here most Mondays for Orlea Origins, where I play Kieran, the ASMR Lore Bard. You can also find me typically every other Wednesday for my Theros 5e campaign, A God's Challenge. Every other Thursday for Reign of Vecna, where I play Meek, the Reborn Goliath Redemption Paladin. And then every other Friday, as you heard from Nick and Lisa, for my Stargate 5e campaign, where they had a nice little quote unquote TPK almost, even though it wasn't a TPK.
I heard replicators.
Oh, that wasn't even the worst of it.
Yeah, Lisa was telling me about it.
So,
That's exciting.
oh yeah.
Okay. Is that it? Are you done? Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. All right. And of course, I'm Will, the Halfling Wizard. A couple of things before we move on out. We're doing a giveaway. We're giving away this set of the Deck of Many Friends and Foes. Oop. There it is. Friends and Foes. You can enter by putting I'm in all caps in the chats. And this is going all through May. The end of May, we'll pick a name. And so whoever gets it, we'll get this. Nick was the winner of our Deck of Many Things last time. So now we have a deck of many friends and foes. If you can join us on all of our platforms here on Twitch, give us a follow here on Twitch. If you would, we would love for you to go and follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see all the other episodes and all the other games. You join our Patreon and get a lot of the homebrew items that we have. I'm adding more and more as we go. But if you join the Patreon, you can have access to all of those, or at least the ones I've gotten on there so far. But there will be more coming. If you want, you can also tip us or buy us a coffee. All of the proceeds that come into the channel goes back into the channel. I don't keep it for any myself. I'm always like, okay, who needs something? If it's our merch, which is another thing, go check out our merch store. So all the income from that goes to keeping the lights on, basically. But for sure, whatever you'd like. If you feel like, please do. Also, our ongoing charity that we are raising money for is Freedom Service Dogs of America, who I also picked as my birthday charity. So if you follow me on Facebook, that'll be happening too. But we're hanging on to them because they're just a really great group of people. They team veterans up with service animals. And they're just not only just a great organization, they're great people. I've had the pleasure of communicating with them. So check them out. Check out our merch store. We have a lot of merch, show specific. We have some themed with Gay Pride coming up. We have our Gay Pride collection. Yep, Lisa has her mug there from Wind Riders. I don't have mine. Mine are all in the dishwasher because I've been drinking coffee like crazy. But we have some cool mugs and some cool shirts and you name it. We've got some really fun stuff. So go check us out. Even if you don't buy anything, just go check it out because some of it's just really fun. I really want to get that image of mint on a shirt. I really do. Oh my God, I want to get it on merchandise so bad. But yeah, so I think that's it. Is that everything? So we'll be back next Monday with the continuation of this story. So we'll be on to, off to, so you'll have us tonight, next Monday, and then we'll be off for 2 weeks, and then we'll be back for 2 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll be doing that until I get Wind Riders back up on its feet where I want it, and then we'll figure that out when we get there. But other than that, it's been a pleasure having you all here with us. It's been a pleasure being your DM for this whole run. You guys are amazing, and I love you all, and I can't wait to see what the fuck y'all come up with next. So until next time, everybody, be safe out there. Bye-bye.
He's wearing so fine, in the tavern sipping on wine, knows the secrets of the old halfling wizard never told. Mystic wand and a pointed hat, talks to people about this and that, sneaky tricks and a wink in his eye. Halfling wizard makes the hours fly. Oh, halfling wizard in the night, casting spells to the moonlight. He can talk and he can know, in his world the magic grows. Down the road in evening light, he'll engage you, that's his delight. Readers of the stars he seeks, in a crowd he's sure to speak.